我们一起好，后面的人没有那个位置的话，三问讯就可以了。我们前面的来顶礼，好，谭成基上师面前做3顶礼，好。好，那我们首先就要祈请，然后再进行听课。
南丹追追三界内，长春不能对家随界来买的，对边归跟追送让先来大丹着外三界那，长春不能对家随界那买来买的先对边归跟追送界让先。他等着外三界内，长春不家随界，三界着外跟等对，来买三界准年年，看来看对真来见着外，长了我人当家为三界着外跟等对，来买三。准年年看对真来见，着外长了我人当家为三界着外跟等对，来买三界准年年，看来看对真来见，着外长了我当家为会见愿见内在在北麦斯人东北了，愿在秋天而追念北麦追念些所在，可了对看麦北可了结结结所在，准结结结来结的些所所，古追北麦。会跟在对在卡来些日子别买卡，千百年学啊，岁岁来年的人的样子，岁卡的人来买那，岁晚的觉得要晚些带千百年千真年比之岁来来没。trái rồi đêm ở tại bài về ya dễ như bài chế soi vay đến chọn在我带去接下班带接所以来个接所谓给我就是带给日三百带接带本着来不灭爱会去有罪的万劫世界赛去会本在这个爱护千家人可能有一个可能别所会人家别人来下来了半步来咱不离来把来见在面前略带略派爱呀带爱呀心用点的浪转转在面前带在面前的人不来去日为把三界心人就言白满面白叶落对可来人不来去 Nomboy Rinpoche, Zumoy Rinpoche, Lumboy Rinpoche, Lomboy Rinpoche, Daijoy Rinpoche, Maipen Rinpoche, Tereiche, Boye Pumbai, Gebai Mai, Chenwai Mai, Luoi Ma, Karai Mai, Medoi Ma, Dunbe Mai, Nazai Ma, Tejai Mai, Nye Mai, Dawai Rinpoche, Doi Chole, Nambarai Gyave, Gyanzen, Lai Mi, Ben Som Zong Bai Mai, Zang Wai, Men Bai, Dien Ye, Zao Wai, Dai Ge, Barai Je, Pal Dien, La Mai, Dai Mai, Nai Dai Ye, Dai Ge, Garai Ge, La Zoi, Sai Ge, Dai Jan Joi Zeb, So Dai Jeb, Nam Da, Go Barai Ge, Oi, Doi Jin, Doi Vien, Den Doi Je, Zoi, Zoi, Je, Ne, Jing, Lai Doi, Zoi, Sai, Che, Be, Che, Joi, Che, Men, Doi, Jai, Re, Rai, Le, Che, Yen, De, Gen, Bai, De, Sai, Ye, Chen, Doi, Men, Po, Wai, Yen, Doi, Ge, Nam, Dai, Chen, Lai, Che, Bai, Sho, E, Dai, Mra, Dai, Men, Dai, Lai, Kam, De, Re, Ya, Dai, Ya, Mi, Sim, Je, Lai, Ge, Sai, Bai, Dai, Loi, Ye, Chen, Dai, Chen, Dai, War, Che, Choi, Tem, Moi, Tem, Bai, Ye, Che, Ye, Koroi, Loi, Koroi, Do, So.
Kadela Manona Guja, Jaya, the Delivery, Tracy, to Jirin, Penditu. Panga Lami, Zolan Guja, Zara, and this one, Jacona, and this one, Jacona, Lami, so. That's one Royal Natural, Juro, Tongan, Nation, no much about and the damage, Jamaica, some and the one, and the Shea, like a drove me, candle. Draw Conjatan and Jelaba, Tajika to Church on to Ujurji, Lion, Nogadan Jami Sanjay Tony. Nandro Tenji de Vayonta was always on a comborable thing, Tapjanama, they were Dachi with the cover Joe, Yomi Soma Jachiva Chonzai. Kono Sata the Church, with Tonajon. Then David of his Jesu, Mambu no Mendoza, Tadachi, the Urian was upon them. The Tanjania Kaba. Teba Jimmy Chuji to the Navi Tubakawan, the old Chebaji, the combat Tomaton, Triba said the Sevajendo, Troy Goni, the Tonda Pasona gave it Tom Jin, Rujan in Chevala, Samba shows.
Once again, try to generate the mind of bodhicitta, thinking that one will achieve the supreme enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, and that too one will single-handedly, without relying on any other method, one will lead all sentient beings onto the path of supreme enlightenment. And while listening to the teaching, your mind should be focused upon the words and meaning of the teachings, without your thought wandering into the past as well as in the future, but remain here in the present, and also think about how this precious human life is difficult to find, and also how the Mahayana teachings are difficult to find and to hear. And just as a hungry person yearns for food and a person who is thirsty yearns for something to drink, in the same attitude, listen to the teaching and drink the nectar of Dharma, and with this attitude, listen to the teaching. Wrong side, wrong cagres, wrong the wrong, Madroma Sigmaris. The wrong caron, la strong yuna, send the one to the Chancha Mani, but Chiva Shemitan, Sonaton Gui. There's a turn in Nimbo, Chiva Shima Pan, the Tommy Churmazi, Kong Pan, the Tommy Chursi, Maruna, wrong is the wrong large of Maris, the other. Junte Tenan. 다 가르치고 있어요. 좋아하시발라. 통화 매도면 차심. 네, 왜 왼바된 거인가? 대세로 도매 논이 온게 네, 지하사돈 돈제도 논이고 내일 대회나 롱을 산데 요라 이미 거니 그래서 동바세로 마토 지금 내부터 이전에 내 왼바된 바 리바이 대에서 대초텔라 대가스와 님이 지고 손주 미치비 수종 롱라 메빈 요주로 솔라용 롱가 펜바 조카비 도제 제사 제나 멜리삼 다 대저와도 리그레시부터도 멜리삼세 그트비고니다 제시자원 대나 다다 님아 그 다베 님아 체 님아 Nyamabu Nimalaso, Nimanga do it there. Wrong Sheva to Mechivi. Chevo Kunji Sono Tondo, Sombaton. Sono Tekul Lombe, Longa Shuba, Tonji. Rondo Konale Mandibi, Space, wrong, do a dovage. Ada Tajin to me, so the Suinam. Contact. Danji Mapon Gonza Isela, Ron Jenji Konason, the Ronda to be conjured, Jean Pembelo Meduce. Konali Mandi Bees. Teta Rondo Konar do the game. Ada Shadow May Chibis, May Chibi member Charles with him. That Della Shujo Rona maybe Yoju Kona like Koni Loaji. Allo sang yoju. You say that. That's the you consider so tell young. Rona a pegmar. Yoju Koni. So I should content to use Gondola say dodge. Solayon, Dagno, Pemadruba Catis. That there were on them by the Pa Pemadru Jacali coverage. Parova Druza, wrong Pemadruba Tomji. Rondon Baji drove the enter Pemba Kavi Mila. Ada Tetabim, Dunzi Seate, Sendi. Jono Toko Satonina, Sonsono La Sobe, Dide Shava Tomji, Dan Dunzi, Mr. Thomas Yak Sajin and Dunzi. Dunzi Din Jesa Jebi Tawaji, Melison, Jena Melison, Ligmaris, Japadrum Drago. The gate on Conchi Champion. Javi non c'era già.
오롱 지부 시와 베베 나서도 사무 돈지 되니 두바리시 송소지 다 론이 지부 단데 저주바 지바라 토마 게비신 천지데 막 동아 특구르마 동아 마지마 론초도베 송아 뱀바케 요만 동아 그사 때니 롱뇽레 쳐데 고산제는 다 시주 바 차송 콘도 시바 진님 대니 지디 거기 사자 통제 뻔니 대변바 땡구리스 대변바 마제나 론이 노니 슈크자 체자베 도지 바잔 투베 도지 대산나드메데 코발로준 총로미단 어떤데 맞다마데 메도 메로베 땡에제 줄에 지와 최녀선 자진 인수
The teaching that you are going to receive is based on Padu Rinpoche's text, the discourse which is virtuous in the beginning, middle, and the end or conclusion. And this is also based on the commentary by Khenpo Shenga, word-to-word commentary on Padu Rinpoche's text, which is called The Noble Path of the Bodhisattvas. So this commentary actually has three main sections. The first one is, the first part speaks about Padu Rinpoche, how he feels sad about when he thinks of the conduct and attitude of the beings of the degenerate age, and then the second one speaks about the view, the meditation and conduct of Mahayana, and especially of the Dzogchen part, the second one. And the conclusion is again requesting or imploring all of us to generate the mind of renunciation. So in these three sections, we are in the first section, and in the first section, yesterday we spoke about how Padu Rinpoche actually speaks about how one is disillusioned by the attitude of one's relatives and near ones. And from that, few sections, few verses has been completed. And the last verse that we covered is, of course, what we want is our own good, so we have to be honest with our own selves. If we don't accomplish the essence of the Dharma for our own sake, won't we be ruining our own life? Now, if we don't accomplish the essence of Dharma for our own sake, that means we are wasting, if we do not do this, then we are wasting our life. And what happens is like we are not able to make this life meaningful for a better future in our future lives, and ultimately to achieve liberation and enlightenment. So if we do so, then won't we be ruining our own life? So then this is followed by the verse, the next verse, which speaks about entering into solitude, that discarding the worldly activities, avoiding the worldly activities, and embracing the life of solitude or doing solitary retreat. So the verse number 9 speaks about, in this dark age, what people think and do is vile. None of them will help you. They will deceive and trick you. And for you to be of any help to them will be hard. Wouldn't it be best to quit the whole rat race? So the commentary says that in this present time, during this degenerate age, when we actually think carefully of all the beings, how they think and how their conduct is, all that their thought and their words and their actions and their conduct is totally kind of like selfish or self-grasping in the nature. So therefore, like they are so much let down that we actually can't get any kind of help from them, because, as mentioned before, they are deceptive. Sentient beings are deceptive. Beings of this degenerate are deceptive. So they cannot help oneself in the long run, and at the same time, one can't also help them in return. So therefore, what is the purpose of this connection with people, connection with beings? So therefore, thinking in this line, what we need to do is all these worldly activities in this race for acquiring worldly prosperity, wealth, power, position, and so on. Isn't it like, useless? Aren't they useless? So it's the best, in the best interest of us is to kind of like sever or cut all this connection, the worldly connection, and stop all the worldly activities. Because what Longchenpa says is that we should destroy this so-called image of helping each other, even though in the long run we are not helping each other. Beings cannot help us, and we can't help others. In this process, what happened is like, it is always best to kind of like abandon this world, leave this world, and then embrace the peaceful solitude in the midst of the forest, and then practice and dwell on the meaning of the profound path. Now, when we talk about entering into solitude, on practicing in solitude and going kind of abandoning the worldly activities and worldly preoccupation and going to solitary, entering into a life of solitude, one has to be ready that one should first rely upon the teacher, receive all the instructions, what to practice, because without that resource, and there's no use, like even if we kind of live in solitude. So why solitude is important, why remaining in solitude is important, is because when we are distracted or when we are preoccupied with worldly activities, we don't actually have the luxury, we don't have, our mind becomes so distracted that we don't really have the potential to think of our future happiness. We can't think of liberation, we can't think of supreme enlightenment. So therefore, in order to avoid that distraction, so that we can actually dwell on the meaning of Dharma and practice it so that one can achieve ultimate happiness. So for that purpose, we need to enter into solitude. So that is what the commentary says.
세비산이 쇼마리스 메산비 님이 쥐었는데 님만나도 미 쥐었는데 다 손로동이 공라 롱로타 주반 저당스 로타 메주버 메시티스 로지 시리스 건지 조지자비 상한이 손지자도 차지 최대비 좀 최대비 좀 노지 노지 진라 제이스 정보비 좀 요지 켈라 샴스 지지 최제 더니 미션 케이스 라미 존이 돈이 산지 조시 당선 다 라마 천이 되와 마이비 라마 따노 지디 최제가 라마스 지디 최제 라마스야데 니바 코제 트라과 또 떠봐도 나바지 되자지 메니 봐도 메봐도 코라라 소바도 메드바 다 딜라 론도 셰디 다 간다 롱산 다 디손도 용도다 제지론 아주 시도 가긴도다 지디 최제 그러면 공사 차드 지디 코제 트라바 차드 지디 코제 개모 차드 지디 최제 쪽 차드 아다 메바지베 츠나 산은 좋아서네 로마데베 차이나 언단 지디 최제 라만 개모 차드 이가 주바서다 지디바던지 아존 가요 말어 아다 텐데기 최제게 때라 건디셔봤다도 지디 최제 전딩예비 고제 점에서도 최의 댐비 정스 최 댐비서 로 최의 댐바研究 소나 댐바비 좀 노론전이 수고때 돈들라 수고에 벌써 돈수에 때 돈다 다부자 책도스 라마르다 새 정보비 좀 미국어도 카드고 요즘 개란 라미 소마 책도스 달라 최제를 개 라마데르다 어떤 지디 최제 단디니비 미슈 케이스 미슈 내 하슈 라마 마르스 미슈 라마르스 라마케 데 라미 주니 센도 라미 주니 라마 마르와 벤나 마미 주니 나마 마메 마르 미 주니 메 마르와 어때 노지짐 어다 라미 주니 데 토니 고제 제모 고 산조도 데 노지게 조자시 톰지 데자고 이바다 데이바 대정 건제르 지멜리메 좀 mentobe ngonzi redo je mentobe redo ngenju redo je jongkong shi sumba tara ta mentonse tonje redo gitan je디 chöye tabe redo mo je kon lo to de geso anda 대송 그 뒤에서 메시 메던 잡아 놓라 소지 템바 뉴스 메치모 메 토고사 요데 때던데 맨동지레스 메 토나 도모도 종근데 조거데 데 존나 치기를 봐 어다 때지 치 맞으려서 때 간이 보고 어다 된데 그다 존자시 던져 빼모자 땡요 말이스
Now, after Padre Rinpoche speaks about why it is important to kind of go into solitude, then if you think that in order to go into solitude or in order to abandon the worldly activities and in order to enter into solitude, one needs to abandon all the worldly activities, which is something very difficult. If you think that it's very difficult, then Padre Rinpoche says, the next verse, verse number 10 says, though you serve your superiors, they will never be pleased. Though you look after your inferiors, they will never be satisfied. Though you care about others, they won't care about you. Think about it and make a firm decision. So, if you think that you can't actually abandon your connection with the worldly people, then if you think carefully, just think of the superiors. You have you are connected to either superiors or inferiors or people who are kind of in the middle. So if you think of the people who are superior than you, even if you serve them at all time, there won't be a time that they will be always be pleased, you know. In one way or the other, they won't be pleased because of some reason. So in the same way, even if you care for people who are inferior than you, and no matter how much effort you take in order to take care of them, they will never be satisfied. A time will never come that they will be satisfied. So therefore, think in those terms and then try to make a firm decision that there is no actually purpose of being connected to whether it is superior people who are superior than you or people who are inferior than you. So therefore, thinking on this line, make a firm decision of abandoning the world. If you take the example of one's own friend, your friends, then no matter how much you care for them, no matter how much you have concern for them, there is no reciprocation, there is no repaying of their kindness. So this is actually what is the conduct. This is the conduct of beings of this degenerate age, of this dark age. So therefore, if you think in this line, then definitely you will come up with the decision that, okay, this is better. It's always better to kind of leave this world and enter into solitude and practice Dharma. Even like the omniscient Longchen says that he talks about the qualities of the people who take the image of a Lama, the reflection of a Lama, even though it's not the genuine Lama, but a reflection, having the reflection or the appearance of a Lama. So such a Lama actually, what the Lama's attitude would be something like, whenever the Lama meets a wealthy person, and whenever a person meets a religious person, so out of these two, the Lama would prefer the wealthy person. His attention will be towards the wealthy person. And between the person who is honest and deceitful, he would kind of like prefer the deceitful. So such a Lama is the Lama who actually is attached to what you call the 8 worldly concerns, the 8 worldly dharmas. So such a Lama is called a reflection of a Lama. It's not a genuine Lama. So thinking in this line, just kind of like sadness arise in me. So that is what Longchen Pa said. And then in the same way, Jingme Lingpa also said, when you have connection with whether it's superior or whether it's inferior, your mind is always kind of like whenever you are connected with the person who is powerful, who has position, who has power, then your mind will always be kind of like caught in hope and fear. You will hope for something, at the same time you always will have doubt and fear that if your relationship with that person is not good, then you might fear that something might happen to you. You might be harmed because that person is so powerful. And when you are connected with powerful people, of course you will always hope for something to elevate your own position. So therefore you'll be caught in either like hope or fear. So further, the commentary says that these days those people with power are something like, they are like fire. Like initially when you are near the fire, there's some kind of warmth when you are near the fire. But if you go near to the fire, then what it will do is like it can burn you. So in the same way, like whenever you have connection with a person with power, powerful people, then you should always be wary. So therefore, Jigme Lingpa said that you'll be caught up in like either hope or fear.
Karo dena shata shu seris, ta kunje chemazona. Karo dena loloji deja na oda shata shu se loda jaru se lojun se ta ka sa kalu nongru se gul. Loda shu seris. Pemba la na kaja nong wa kos. Pemba la de labji ja na o kaja nong seris. Shaji trende chu de dong'an tong. Ni ni shaza chen de ni do chen labda chen ta 나는 좀 매일매일 어다 나 동도 몇 토만 넣어 내가 동도 초도 완당 등에 코나 소지 조안배지 뒤니만 가도 코든 동제 데리세도 콘 조안배 자 도조도 소 세당 대니 최대 최바 마주세 소미 dom자 오승 수인 케이스 다 최소한조님 그런 거 톱그를 최대 더니기 최대 퇴바 마준 체스 롱 마주 제 마주 세나 대토 세나 다 소단 다소 단에 소미세도 소미 dom자 딱내 제 지금 매 도마고 제 dom자 캐레모 보세요사 dom자 내 원소 제스 라미 군도 전에 시고 원소 제는 수인 케이스 대리 다 빼자서 매버 케바 차고 제그리스 dede troni control la torwas doing call somji jo ambers da long to take on even then so joina the koron doba troso that's on the da ren dobi turn troni control la torwas kaza consciousness lu ju yang do han la torwas ta ju time member konda dagu jagmes da kaza 요나 동보들 남아권이 세우 세기제 계획 dom자시 대초 제차도 대 남아 유샤 대 고주면서 가다 라토와 두 니만가도 동인진 콜라스 다다빈 콜로마 때dom네 내가 수암지 군지 제모송 특조도 수암배 시송 송소치 대전도 근데 자주지 내줄라 다니 donc lo medo metes zavi trole son lo dogois lo medo met konje la mes rona medo jela zohe jins gode me be yongyi chongje jeshu zhen chongje je da nojun ta so dan tenje 조건 통비 컨텐츠 시스 마이전 나 건제 손 도는 컨텐츠 좀 조합해 드리게 저 되는 론을 메주 제라 롱도 다고 잡도 메주 메주 제라 조패 비제네 손을 좀 요되게 포주 좀 요되게 그이트스 메비스 용의 제조 용의 봐서 산주이 봐 산주 마종배 그비치나 롱수 다고 잡고 말이 제조도 카텔롱 그래서 제조든 쇼제에서 논준나산 다 남이 가 손준다고 호던 제조 때 레미제 차님 아다 논준나 수바다님 야리로고서 대답이 좁은 돈이 콘디스 산주선 투개자 콘디스 예수 맞는 오지
Again, Omniscient Longchen Bas speaks about the attitude or the conduct of the entourage. Now, when you talk about relationship, especially with people, we talked about relationship with your parents and relatives. Then again, we also talked about the relationship between how a genuine lama and how a fake lama or can kind of like relate to people, how their how to say, way of attitude or how their approach is like. Now here, also we talked about your situation, like relationship with people who have power. Now here, Longchen Ba speaks about the attitude and the conduct of a lama's entourage, or people who kind of follows that lama. So their attitude would be something like, when the lama is like sitting silently, then at that time the entourage or the followers would always request for something, like, you know, please speak of something, please advise something, give us some suggestion, advice, and so forth, teaching and so forth. And then when the lama actually speaks about something which is beneficial for the followers, then they take it as a scolding, because the lama will point out their faults and weaknesses, right? And then at the same time, when the lama with loving kindness, he gives advice. When he gives advice, he will definitely find pick on their faults or weaknesses and then advise them. So at that time, the followers would kind of think that, oh, this lama is so kind of like, you know, kind of harming you, kind of always poking at you, making your life, you know, miserable, you know, something like that, you know. So seeing the attitude of the followers or the students of this degenerate time, I kind of like, sadness arises in me. Sadness arises in me. So that's what the verse says. Again, there is attitude of some students' attitude of always asking for different teachings, right? And different teachings or higher teachings. When they request for these teachings, they would always first, they would promise that, okay, after receiving this teaching, they would do such and such a practice, and they kind of like promise a lot. But once they receive the teaching, then what happens is like they feel satisfied, they feel fulfilled, and they actually don't actually see the lama at all after that. They just abandon the lama. So again, like thinking on these terms, like the followers or the students of the degenerate age, like sadness, when I think of this, sadness arises in me. In the same way, he also speaks about friends, the attitude of friends, the conduct of friends of this degenerate age. When you think, like, definitely sadness will arise in you. So he says that relatives or friends are always, when you talk about themselves, they are always impatient, but they always kind of, are demanding to others, and they are of no use when you actually need them. When the need of the hour, during the need of the hour, you won't find them. And their manner or the character is kind of like not good, and they always take the sides of others. And then for small reason, they will kind of show different, countenance, different kind of like attitude. So thinking on these lines, when I think of the attitude and the conduct of friends of this degenerate time, then sadness arises in me.
That's any young need to get the gender so go my innocent as that Tiba Chamber is sister. Shonzo Sanje in the Sanje my ship. So to Jenny James and Jago Mario is a nine. They're good emerge. Niman not doing this. That Zaza Magina Calico on Doan. Kejo tendem to Zuba Page. Jojo gender Majung, Drogomans. Toyo did you missing Kenu chase? Tadi Twenty Gona, 200 San Joy Jagways. the Casum Raidua. KB, Sonjage, Sombi, Dojugo, London. Toby Tamba, and La Shavache, good or good is, good merchant. And then you need to enter. Keba is K. Jones, Cape Tanya in Nayon. Then the middle days, Tamba Jumden Sombi, Lodogo Temperature, middle days. So one pepper and Julas, so I just remember that wrong change lawyers in Jella, that's one Judge Jatamay. Wrong change law, the young ton, another she charged mother. Wrong change law, you just see though, that's why you ever just started. So one pepper and Julas. The troop Johnson, troop combo to say John, gender Medroba. Ye, Digman the men, Dondo Gondemigim, Loma Conde, Condemoatans. Ah, the Toton Cheyon, Toton Cheva Cosari. Tedon, Deju, one Messella Sabate, Shamsi Jongo, Deju Mezemba, Mezebi, the Deju Simitu Meoba. Kilo Chevis, Kilo Cheto, Mongo Cheter, Moloja Tandre, Lomea Laman Gogo Chedua. What a theory it said, Kilo Chevis. Tadi Tin Dendala Gonlas, Saint Joan Jote, Deton Saint Josan Jote, the Lord Rugus, Rono chosen Roa, you know, that Lord Lona, Ron Chud, Ron Lord Chud, the Madento, Revice.
Now, since Padre Rinpoche speaks about living, how to say, when he thinks of friends, when he thinks of students, when he thinks of people with power, when he thinks of people who are inferior to him, in all the relationship that that one has during this degenerate time, is not worthwhile. The relationship is not worthwhile, because it doesn't actually help each other. The relationship does not help each other. So therefore, it's the right time. It's a time to kind of go to a solitary place and practice. So in that case, then, even if the attitude and the conduct of the beings of the degenerate is something like a cause of sadness, isn't it wise? The question comes isn't it wise for one to still be more courageous and then benefit others? You know, why can't we kind of even though we see the weaknesses or the disadvantages of being connected with beings of the degenerate age, even if that is the case, shouldn't we kind of be even more courageous and then benefit beings, work towards the benefit of beings? So if that question arises, then for that, Padre Rinpoche further says that in this degenerate time, being learned these days doesn't help the teachings. It just leads to more debate. Being realized these days doesn't help others. It just leads to more criticism. Being in a responsible position these days doesn't help govern the country well. It only spreads revolt. Think about these times with sorrow and disgust. Now, if you try to be courageous and become a scholar, for example, and try in the process of benefiting others, you become a scholar, you become a, realized person, or you become some kind of powerful people in responsible position, there is no surety that you can actually benefit others, because it is said that even though you become a scholar, and even though you ought to work for the propagation of the teachings of Lord Buddha, whether it is scriptural teaching or the teachings of realization, in this degenerate time, even though you are a scholar, it's very hard to work and do something beneficial for the teachings, because your scholarly attitude, because of your self-grasping attitude, what happens is like it will create more kind of debate. It will create more conflict. So therefore he says being learned these days doesn't help the teachings because it just leads to more debate. Then even though you become an accomplished person, again, even that will also, there's no surety that you can actually benefit others, because being an accomplished person actually leads to exaggeration or denigration, that people will have doubt about your qualities, and they will speak about many things. And in that case, it's very hard to benefit others. Now, even if you become a person with position and power, like the leader of a country or leader of a land, then there will be revolt. I mean, like there's always a danger that you will be revolted by the subjects or citizens of the country. So thinking on these lines, situation of these times, try to generate kind of like sadness in you so that your mind will be directed towards Dharma.
촉부 정보 촉본 통된들 솔라 maybe 솔라 펜밤 레다추 레마잡세 대대 요소 단지 촉부 있어야 돼 바로 비주디 촉부 차선도 정보는 촉본 통으로 있어요 다단 세권 잘 제송데 케비 정동 주바도비 명아 이젠도 리바 시장 대반 지금 Demba Medzimba, Shijilo Lota to cause, Shijilo to Coatans, Pala Rong Sani, Pensan Technicayons, Cara Sejans, Hotel Zigma Solovan Zingris, June Chuba Nogis, Coros June Chuba Charson, Trombo and Chuban Tommy, doing there. Kwanzan Chongi Pama Sulayama Pemba Meroba, the Rama Jobs, Redachu Nagaos, Chudruba, Roni, Pachi Maris. Data with Sun the Conjela Longera Jajong. Trombo Nina Rabdi Choma Tons, Nojibi and the Suno Mebanzins. Chud then commit Tadu says, Teddy Jewon Tony, content do she dance. That day, Nogoji came as one. Wrong tune to my trombone nena, or the made schedule tromboris. I chuba is much serious, my commit tromboris, singing is trombo tongues. No longer double much of the Ujina, no Jivana on the Sonome pass, Pango reservice. Chu surgeon the Dana, long chu the Damba, Chunyon to Devina, Taduan, come Tadu says. Well, some don't come to top ways. Cigarettes. Then there is Joe and Tony that comes on took to son until we took those one.
Again, if the question arises that by being a scholar or by being an accomplished master or by being like the leader of the place or leader of the country, it might kind of like benefit few people, maybe a few people, if not all. So again, Paturambiji says that even that is also difficult, because this is a time when even though you explain, people miss the point and don't believe you. Though your motivation is truly altruistic, people think it is not. These days, when the crooked see the straight as crooked, you can't help anyone. Give up any hope of that. So even though you kind of like explain things according to the instruction of scholars, instruction of the accomplished masters, people won't believe in you. They will instead, they will, how to say, understand it to be, take it in a wrong way, in an opposite way. And even though you have a good motivation in your heart, and then they will actually always see it wrongly. And this is the time when the crooked, people who are deceitful, will see the truthful as something deceitful. So this is the time, a difficult time that we are living in. So therefore, like, it is sure that you won't actually benefit. You can't benefit even a single person, even though you have good motivation, even though you have, how to say, even though you are learned. So therefore, like, Longchen Bas writes in one of his writings, says that when you speak the truth and when you stick to the truth, whatever is the truth, then people will just see you as rigid, adamant, you know. And if you do not have wealth, then people will just kind of blame you. They will just insult you, saying that, okay, you don't have any merit, you are meritless. And if you practice Dharma genuinely, you know, without thinking of any of the 8 worldly concerns, then people will just think that, oh, you are kind of, you're worthless, you're powerless, you don't have anything. So seeing this situation, I actually kind of like, sadness arises in me. I'm disillusioned. Yeah. Further, Longchen Ba points out that when you actually differentiate what is the right path and what is not right, or what is positive and what is negative, according to what the sutra has to say, according to what tantra and the commentaries and the reading the text and the instructions have to say, when you actually explain very clearly and differentiate and try to make it clear, then people will just think that you are kind of like, you are, how to say, you are intolerant. You are intolerant towards other tradition. In that way, you actually kind of like, you are being kind of like misunderstood. So therefore, during this time, you know, thinking of the attitude of the followers or the students, then what happened is like, sadness arises in me, sadness increases in me. So that is what Longchen Ba said.
你学juman的了，机关就接送的，咱juman大部，去当地juman都没了大部，叫把做不送去，讲的用他把统计钱把的送有的送了，但地方俺就对呢，但是juman来讲就钱都多的，多的就不得，juman可能到juman你啥价值的，有juman从这个大家讲的希望到一点。 让到一个老友在这留级三级高中课上，在要求查算一张这什么些个嘛的，对年龄的呢，俺的写吧用要求吃单个的，但是那边留来的当要求来个查个的，但是在就在带了带呢，中的就嘛那么大团结不是嘛带的人，但就嘛的就这都带，有就嘛大部创造了上面，有就可能我呢创造成创嘛那个加拿大团结，就没我带的创上呢，바로我동아서 막你不该要嘛是吧？那带的就没创造了上吧。 民众看见，民众就老板同志，你嘛俺都会对接，学完了一切没用完，这一单都没用完，就嘛大问题了。你这啥基本做起当，你这同志大把这些，你就嘛就是这样。然后确实他妈去我，但可能没写字，但没写字，同志要求的要求送了过来，但是你咋今年得多长？
So up till now, Padre Rinpoche spoke about like how sadness arises in one when you actually think of the attitude and conduct of your relatives, your friends, your students, and so forth. Now from here, you know, the explanation goes a little bit deeper about how the situation of the degenerate times is. So the verse number 13 says, all phenomena are like magical illusions, said the Buddhas. But these days the illusions are more illusory than ever. Trickeries conjured up by devious illusionists. Beware of the illusions of this degenerate age's ways. So Lord Buddha taught that all phenomena are like illusions, like dreams. So that is what Buddha taught. Now what we see now is like we are seeing now in this degenerate age is like we are seeing a double delusion, a double illusion. Even illusion of illusion. So these, even though like generally all phenomena are understood to be illusion, and it is being taught by the Buddha that, you know, all phenomena are illusion-like, dream-like. But now in this degenerate age, it is like double illusion, double dream kind of thing. Why this is so is because of what people have in their minds. People have what you call deceit in their mind. When the mind is deceptive, then what happens is like whatever attitude, whatever conduct, whatever the words that comes out from that kind of mindset is always kind of illusion, always kind of like elusive in nature. So it is like the conduct of the beings of the degenerate age is like something which is created by the magical, something created by magic, which is something elusive, which is actually not there in reality. So therefore, it's kind of double delusion or double illusion. That is what the attitude of people is. So therefore, there are, because of that, beings of this degenerate are never reliable. And therefore, you should always be aware of this kind of illusion of this degenerate age. When you actually understand and when you be aware of this, the elusive nature of degenerate age, people of degenerate age, then definitely there is a hope that your mind will actually mingle or your mind will accord with the Dharma.
Kani meba turn to Dobani Teni Mazumbi Nimbo meba Trajito Konandubi Oda Teta Megoton Shada Suici Suji Tajandela San Sumaji Rixos San Jenny Mishazik Sitom Denmark Tajalis Dugdus Teda Lodu Rixo Tele.
Again, verse number 14. All talk is like an echo, said the Buddhas, but these days it's more like the re-echo of an echo. What the echoes say and what they mean are not the same. So don't take any notice of these insidious echo words. So Lord Buddha has said that, Lord Buddha, who actually spoke the truth, has said that words are like echo. So you should not grasp or you should not kind of, you should not be too much attached to words. Now, so that is generally what the Buddha taught. But in these times, now words have become like a double echo of an echo, re-echo of an echo. That means essenceless, entirely essenceless. And whatever is spoken and whatever is in the mind, in the thought, is totally different. They go in two different directions. So therefore, there is no compatibility between what is in the mind and what is in the word. So there is a huge distance between these two things. So therefore, like, how can one actually be reliable? How can one actually trust such an echo? So therefore, it's high time that you actually get get fed up or get fed up of words that you hear, because the words that you hear do not have any credibility. There is no kind of like truth in it, because words that comes out from a deceitful mind is completely contradictory with what you hear and what is actually in the mind. So therefore, like, it is high time you get just kind of like be kind of like fed up or being fed up of it.
Junte Konichiva Junte Desana, Luje Tima Desana, Shodon Mamala, the Luje Kings, Sushi Tomala, the Lujici, Tana Sola Lote Medukis, Roni Jibu, Ranga Nebanzos, Takonjevan Dujis, Kumajan, Jason Days, Tombi Children Tumba Liva Tana, Konzan Chomi Rua Sole Tono Tonche. Memories, Memorate, Tabilon, La Fluge Cajun, do Lower Tajig, Fluge Cajun, Dogos. Don't she said Navi Tujago, don't she said Tomji, don't Demba Maris, Malate, Yon Tabilon, Fluge, Long Lower Tingy, Fluge Tidun, do Tisos. Tani Joe, Chu, Connie, Yoni, Chu, Juado, the Ronnie, maybe. Chomi Solon, Lodemidos, that Chomi Solon, Lodemid, Ron changing consultant, Lodemi, Pachawayu. They had to answer Jamen Gonda, said, 10 minutes of the conjurer was so in Madu, Melu Suyomar. Is it named Madukis, the Roni Jibu, Kadir, Nebeneso, Kona Teta with John the Antil Maduba, Tama Chebachi, Jenjitan Maduba, Maduba, Oronga Neba Zuchi to give you with Neba Zuchi each.
Since every word that you hear is like an echo, and every phenomenon that you see is like illusion, double illusion, because of the deceptiveness of because of their deceptiveness. So verse number 15 says, "Whoever you see isn't human but a fraud. Whatever people say isn't right but just lies." So since these days there is no one you can trust, you would better live alone and stay free. Now, from the perspective of genuine Dharma, like in terms of genuine Dharma, if you really examine carefully, whoever you see they are not human in the sense that they are actually ones who deceive you, and ones who can actually make you stray away from the path of liberation because of their deceptiveness. They lead you, they make you wander in samsara. They don't actually help you to achieve liberation. So whatever words that you hear, whoever speaks anything to you, they are just not words. They are kind of like words that actually again deceive you and makes you stray from the right path, the righteous path. So therefore, like there is no one, like whether it's those who are high or those who are low, no matter what they are, their position, no one is actually reliable, and no one is actually trustworthy. Why? The reason why no one is trustworthy and no one is reliable is because everyone has what we call the self-grasping attitude, the self-cherishing attitude. So that's why we always say, who can actually protect you is the one that can protect you is the three jewels, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, because they are not selfish. They are kind of selfless. They are compassionate. So therefore, for beings who don't have protection, who don't have guidance, for them the three jewels guide them. So therefore, our main protector is the three jewels, because whoever we see are kind of human, filled with the self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. As a result of that, they are deceptive. So therefore, no one is actually reliable and trustworthy. So because of this reason, it's always better to remain single, remain alone in solitude, and live kind of without any, without any connections, and then remain kind of free, stay free. So that is what's his advice.
Rani Jibu Nema Dug Junseyon, the Taras, Luce Chuji na Kundongaras, Naju Trombo, Natom Trombo Chena, Pache Chos. Sonson Tenikayo, John says, Tan Rose Baby Tula Paus, Jason Dead, Luji Chuba Chu Yendo, Tamba the Shiji Payagi, Tan Dembi, Juna. The Tiba Tonjan Gandrus, Nazi Tonjela. Kundo Gawa, Gabi. That tell Jidiba Tonjel, Corozo, Suju Shada, that tell Rona is Suju too much good. Suju shit Suju of the Suju second one. Suju Tong. Nan dita use Monjus Tonlas. Nagaton Trombo Shenani, Joe Pachiva, Condolongus, Condolon de Jabjichoni, Jabdangdus. Wrong says Zombo, Pesa Zombo, Nini Kawachini, Nini Kajans. Ju Trongwalam, Ju Trombo Shivata, Miko Kamish, Lamba the Series, Kuba the Series, Lamba Teni, John the Sevi, Tani, Wrong Sokondi Shiva, Yadi to the baby Stula Papa Yentis, Conjin Jimmy Libichanis, Dundi Gender Drubal, Fluid Doos, Onsa Nyenda Pache, Chivit Knees. Sunday Nozi Sancha Nyamo Yes, David Julatana Melisam, she is on use, Kazana. Dondi Sonsonoto, Danduni Sola Dodim. The one could choose a Sebi, General Drubatim, Ronjik, Messi Tonjik, Louis Dul, Pache Young. Other mean Monsaton, Tom Hedra Chevatum, Wrong Pache, Tavi Pache Keynes. Pache wrong June Chiva Chibanese. Then Bua the Lonshulas were called Sanji, no day from the San Chavachivi Chaji, so Yamaba Chivi Jays. Devi now, there comes a Yabatoni, wrong Sang Nilu Tate, says to draw Melisam Shadam, such a pen, Sabin days. Liba Mina, Tomji, Jolowa Mina, Tembanjis. Ma upon a term to Devi Tombi Chubakas, Tombi Chuba Meta Kali covers, Liba Shajan, Tomji Control Road, Lower Minade, Sonja Tamba, Lowa Tamaji Roads. The Ma upon an do turn to Mutus. Then Tombi Chubakat, Chip Tombi Chuba, Kali covers, she is Mata, Labi Dudu maybe wrong, Truby Tumeba. The other to be two meba. Loja Mombote, Chuna, Lixos, Solon to Mount and Chajimo show the Ligris.
Another reason for staying kind of like in solitude, remaining alone, is verse number 16 that says, if your actions conform with Dharma, you will antagonize everyone. If your words are truthful, most people will get angry. If your mind is truly good and pure, they will judge it a defect. Now is the time to keep your own way hidden. So whenever you try to kind of like physically, like if you try to kind of like practice mindfulness, practice carefulness, and then you try to practice and according to the Dharma, then people will just say, oh, he or she is like hypocritical, as show off, doing a show off. Even though it is genuine, people will take it as a show off and hypocrisy. And when you speak the truth, which is in your heart, and when you speak the truth, then most of the people will be angry. They will hate you and they will go against you. And even though you have a genuine concern of helping others, then people will just take it as that you are just dumb, and they will just kind of consider it as kind of a fault or a weakness, even though it is actually not a weakness, it's a quality, good quality, but people will consider you as a dump and consider that as a weakness. So therefore, like, now is the right time to actually kind of conceal what your true nature is, what your true kind of like conduct or attitude is, because Kunjin Longchenpa, the omniscient Longchenpa, said that when you engage in so-called activities of helping others, spiritual activities, that actually becomes a demon, that deceptive, it becomes a deceptive activity. And then even though like being renowned and being famous is something wonderful, but actually in reality it is an obstacle. It is actually a bondage. It can bind you. Fame and name can bind you. And then wealth and prosperity, wealth and properties can be the foundation of the being attached to, that is like foundation of attachment and desire. So isn't it right time to kind of like engage in practice rather than being kind of like caught up in so-called spiritual activities and in caught up or being attached to fame and name and being attached to wealth and possessions. Even Sakya Pandita said, if you speak the truth and if you speak to benefit others, then others will kind of like hate you. They will not be happy. It will anger them. Now, if you do not speak the truth and speak what is right, then that will become the cause of, if you just spread lies or if you just don't speak the truth and speak false, then what happens is that will become the cause of the destruction of the teachings. And if you just remain silent without speaking anything, then people won't understand you because you are not speaking, you don't speak anything. So therefore, like, the contact of the noble ones is, the path of the noble ones is really difficult. So that is what Sakya Pandita said. So hence, do not have too many ideas and too many wishes, which actually can't be fulfilled. And it's always good to focus on remaining in solitude and practicing.
Baby no job, say don't no job, say then charge tongue some, say something. Wrong lubete. Maybe embe resula, chibudos. Nga bete, ma reme jang, ngancha mamo water, pension de tachus. Ronnie Jibu, Kajama Chips, Tom in the churches. Saint Bede, Saint Yamaban David to be Jesu, Mammadoson Lasovan. That did they choose Shabbat Tomje Beguimba. Saint Bede, wrong tongue, the now John Nanziti, Tobangaba, no dote, tongue, John Conala, Jerry Tutan. John Coron over towns and the sun on Tosek Don. The baby no Joe says Sevatin. She is Senna. The main job is yet to harness and all that. The little say, do I tell us, say chogos.
Now the question is, how should one actually conceal or hide one's quality or hide one's nature? So the verse number 17 says, hide your body by staying alone in a mountain wilderness. Hide your speech by cutting off contact and saying very little. Hide your mind by being continuously aware of your own faults alone. This is what it means to be a hidden yogi. Now this is a definition of a hidden yogi. A hidden yogi should have these qualities. So a hidden yogi, when you hide your body, then what it means to hide your body is to hide your body means to be away from the busyness, be away from the company of worldly beings, and then to remain in the mountain wilderness, remain alone. So that is the hiding your body. Then to hide your speech means not to engage in gossip. Delme is like gossip, talk without any kind of like purpose, you know. So gossiping and remaining silent. And when you do that, what happens is you kind of like you avoid many kind of like negative actions that you actually accumulate by through speech, through engaging in speech, whether it's gossip, slander, or how to say harsh speech, or lies and so forth. And then the hiding your mind is to watch your mind and to try to keep in the present without how to say without following the without inviting the future in the present, or without following the past events, following the past events, not following the past events, and not also inviting the future, thinking about the future, but remaining like present and looking at the mind. So that is called the hidden yogi. So the qualities of hidden yogi should have these three qualities.
Sula lote medu she loges, Kona nimbo medu chochedes, Gonson judu medu beta church, there's no tendon drona, pembajis, that is all them. My beta sono to toena, wrong mesetoze mazon pemba cheson, sheson de. Drado nido pami, shoso on, lote medu bis, that don't need pama majibe droj me, medubi. Draga to troji, Luba Tar, Sheloges, Dry cut the Trogon go to the Fisma, Draga Troy to one. Shelo said him, that is our journey. Shelo gave a dance. Noji to Naton, Tognaton, Chechik now 16 town. Nyada la Aswa, Jiti Chujik, Trawa Kona. Nimbo teji shuma zonyo mendubi jumi songe ribajendo jumi sonje ke gogo toni jumi juma lua tonji ribajendo choche de bate tang konji sombi shishu redo tong shichu de jiri choje ke sando manrebi choje shichu redo tomje njubi tu mendubi de losa beji choje bejo tega jön jöla ndesond sumbo tong tu tendo rong sheju nena rona pemba chiso.
So in short, Padre Rinpoche says, verse number 18, disgust because there is no one to be trusted. Sadness because there's no meaning in anything. Determination because there will never be time to get everything you want. If you always keep these three things in mind, some good will come of it. So therefore, whether it's one's friend, foe, or neutral, people who are neutral to you, whoever it may be, are not trustworthy, not at all trustworthy. So therefore, like always, whenever you meet with people, whether they are your friend, your foe, or neutral to you, generate that kind of feeling of disgust in you. That's one thing. And then always generate sadness when you actually come in contact with wealth and possession, knowing the nature, and then prosperity, fame and name, and understand that there's even a speck of, even an iota of essence in these things. They are just illusion and like very unstable, deceptive. So if you have generated knowing this nature of these things, then generate sadness. In the same way, determination in the sense that you have determination to achieve something in the future, and you have so many things that you have in your mind, and there's no way that you can achieve all what you have in your mind, because your mind is filled with like hopes and fears, and mind is entangled by hopes and fears. So therefore, just kind of like cut these kind of like the mind of hope and fear, and then if you have these three attitude, mental attitude, then definitely something will, something good will come out of it. And then if you have always these three in your mind, then definitely there will be some benefit in the long run.
Chibu sebi junsen rabde, yu lumbalam, lo ni sedu, yona sedu segala sobin jiba. Dana nanya muge chunga tong, te chuba chunga ma jabala so, junchu tong, te do neyam duwa jete la soje, nanis, ko nis dena chibi tu medu tes, chegu sonjo lobis, Chigu siade, seo nam sivitan, gusiade, Tonga guitan, Chigu, Somba tang, Najindig dodi, Loba chibati, Jova loswa, Lobi. Chibu de tani sesalas, Duboni sujon mendobis, Dota tombi chuji chubashi, Gubis, Chu duba le chibu yukajamari, Chu duba kawashi, Kalimo jagur. Chur kache duna de chu sona da dula dugo chur ko jonje tan yor ko bi chaja de dugo kache no dojo ne ma to de duna chya ma jonje ta ke yo ma go bi chen de je du je won tong je ma jin le to te mi san do ma ji le sia de le ne sal me do le me sim pu ma pa ma jo so na le chen me on jo we sa kan de chen bo de shi bi na da ne 다들 희망가도 좋은 자식이라 소반 솔라용 미래 솔라용 메도소
So in these degenerate times, there is no time to be happy. Verse number 19, happiness is over just like that. You don't want to suffer, so eradicate suffering with Dharma. Whatever happiness or suffering comes, recognize it as the power of your past actions. So from now on, have no hopes or doubts regarding anyone at all. So in samsara, there is no time of being kind of happy. There is no moment of happiness there because of like failure of crop, because of famine, conflict, epidemic, and so on. These actually torment us, and there's no moment of happiness there. And that is because of happiness is exhausted. Happiness, we fail to achieve happiness because of beings' mental attitude, the motivation, and their actions. Their actions and their motivation are negative. As a result of that, there is no happiness. We don't want suffering. Now, in order to end the suffering, we must make sure that we use the Dharma, we practice Dharma. And when we practice Dharma, we undergo pain, we undergo suffering, we undergo hardship. And that is like hardship worth taken. When you practice Dharma and with that hardship is worthwhile because that hardship can actually end suffering. Whereas in samsara, no matter what kind of hardship that we do, like in worldly activities, no matter what kind of hardship we may undertake, it is just our own loss because we these hardships are useless, worthless, because they will end up in kind of like bringing more suffering to us. So keep this in mind. And then whatever happiness, moments of happiness, and whatever moments of suffering that you experience in samsara is all due to the actions of the past, whatever actions that you have accumulated in the past. The karma is so powerful, and that dictates what you are going to suffer and what you are going to experience happiness in samsara. So understanding this, do not have hope and fear in anyone in samsara, but kind of like try to have this belief in the karma and believe and trust in your own actions, and then try to practice dharma as much as possible, because that hardship will actually bring you happiness, true happiness.
Reva toba nibodo donha tonji nyune bi isam ten sanjori mela rechi rekan jommbos rona gumon gugu dubishams dejan deji sisi redo los tani chila pa jom miseto so mela ta rea jagu nan zombu shenya mela reva chembu sheni yinji sanzi bi ser rekan 동반 좀뭐 신조 그랬어. 그러나 그저 몽타셔 줘요. 그저 몽신. 예그 매그저. 뭐그 지음에 대가 좀 대바 쳐버려. 그그 통제라. 바로 그 좋은 놈이. 바로 그 레와 쳐버리셨네. 숑라 셔봐. 쏟았다 봐. 다단 디스 샤라 예수를 맞아 시순 디시지 시신 신유마 대통령 레브 좀죠 대성어리마도 이때게 요마 레도 몸부 손론데 단 코아 메세 동생 조직 주진선다 다니 레치라 빠종 메제도 빠주는 뭐 저런 가슴 담자시 데이터비 지디 kop샤자 좀 레디오 시그메스
Now, the previous verse speaks about hope and fear. So when you talk about hope and fear is actually the source of suffering. So why it is so, Paduramache clarifies in the next verse. Expecting a lot from people, you do a lot of smiling. Needing many things for yourself, you have many needs to meet. Making plans to do first this, then that, your mind is full of hopes and fears. From now on, come what may, don't be like that. Now, when we want to achieve something and when we want something to be accomplished and we need help from people, and then we kind of expect a lot, we hope others' assistance or help, and then in order to get that help, in order to accomplish that, what we do is like we try to please the person, say nice words, and show our smile and so forth. And then, because our mind is full of desire, there's nothing that we don't want. We want everything. And in order to achieve everything, get everything, we need the help from others. And then, therefore, we expect others to fulfill that. And then in order to do that, we try all sorts of effort. We make all sorts of effort. And our mind is so much occupied with the hopes and fears in the future. And we think that, okay, now I have to do this. Next I have to do that. And so forth. And our mind is caught up with all these kind of like preoccupation of planning and hoping and fearing of things, that things might go wrong, and then hoping that things might go well, and so forth. So this is actually the mind which is kind of like too much filled with hope and fear. For such a mind, there is no hope of having a genuine practice. So therefore, no matter what kind of situation one may be in, you would never entertain hopes and fears and just focus on your practice.
Kovicula Nimbo Meba, Cella Nimbo Meba, Hako Yusma. Jessica Majiba, Lord Jaipa, the Durjon Gajishara Mess, Kazat, Antigamadu, Padre Golo Yasves to do. Tangai Nilo set up in Surrey. A lot of Padre to use Samaris, they do Gavidunha, say Dungur. Tani, Shion, Sonyon, Jidit Sandy. No dollar Jesus did send them to Coach Hazagan. Tom Yanda, Togosa, Danduniation, Lasova, the Chishati, Guamis, Chishati. Gujukas and Jiti Simitando, Tommy Chu, Jones, somebody in Duna. Tegaron, the Dogos, Tegaron Digus. That day in Churchy. That Toma gave a troll Jovi. So they chose so they just saw it.
Verse number 21. Even if you die today, why be sad? It's the way of samsara. Even if you live to be 100, why be glad? Youth will have long since gone. Whether you live or die right now, what does this life matter? Just practice Dharma for the next life. That's the point. So again, Padre Rinpoche says that even if I die this very moment, or today, even if I die today, I don't have any regrets because there's no essence in samsara. Because samsara is essenceless. And even if I live long, like for 100 years without dying, and what is there to be kind of like joyous about? Because the youth has already been passed. So here maybe Padre Rinpoche was my age at that time, because he composed at a much matured age, at old age. Whether I die or whether I live, what actually does matter? Why does it matter to me, especially the worldly prosperities, whether it is wealth, position, fame, power, and so forth? I mean, like, they are useless to me. Now, what I actually wish is, if I can accomplish a little bit of Dharma practice, accomplish even a small bit of practice, genuine practice, which will help me in the future lifetimes, that itself kind of like will suffice. That itself will kind of bring me kind of like satisfaction. So I think this up till verse number 21 is the first section, speaks about concludes the first section of generating sadness and disillusionment with the beings of the degenerate age, especially one's relatives and friends and students and so forth.
Padugiva, the Tiba Jimbu, Tagon Jubi, Service Sutamba. Yimba Shiba Tonje, Temi Dongang Jurun Dubi, then Kajin Sanjo Sol. Then the Marimajo Chandro Nima go song, anybody. 새로 도매 떠다봐 시바 거기 자자가 시바 돈지 되면 다 펜바메비 되면 봐. 거기 자자가 때 마음보다 동한 몸은 좀 주는 두베이 다 텔잡이 수잡으스나 나도 거기 동안에 접 누가데 간주를 못 나와 som마도지 소매버려. 대집이 돈이 대접이 짜데 제마선 거기가 보여돼. 다른 거 뭐시 제마 다른 거지 두제 때 사이라만 거 뭐시리지 송님 뭐 동주 이게 주 다내에서 제일 메두고 시송대 라마 시리즈 송님 뭐 말도 이게 중앙 이것이 제일 맞으면도 단데 간주군도 뭐 시송대 초동 코비 로간 첨부 로간 받쳐도 매매매매서 대 론이 집을 왔다면 전부 동안 주위 동안 차반도지 동안 넘어 솜지 동안 솜지 제제 또뭐 따도 제도 담제라 소바 따비면 타니 고등이 제비 메시베 게와 드미시 디바 폼메시 되가서 메센디 미국어 동안에 전도 가고 여자들 더하는 거 말은 때문에 뭐 보고니 레게디 론도디 야와토니 뭐베체도 샤다이 손자 아 전제 저베 메시지 뭐반 첩 끊이 캐비 코비네가 안들 직 안들 손데스 제마호 오세 라용 원사부고니 다게 자동 거 지부 제주 투지 챔부 다니고 니지 다니 세리지 다데 간진 코드를 매봐 롱거 틀린 코드 매be 사빌라마 예 마치비 공부 세리지 온슈당 단데 사빌라마 때니 세리가 넘바시네 사줄라마 통지 세리지 넘바데 선다고 서대게 말이 자빌라마도 예마치비 공부 세리지 온슈당 티 송기 님보 동주 건지 더 님보 용데 이게 주바 어만도 매우시바 도미추 존주 이게 주마 시 뭐비 식당 제바 세드지 단데 레사동 짠니 체리면두고 세리제도 대송 이게 좀 되는데 송 도움이 주려 그것도 세리지지 다 델리에 좀 만들었어 이제 그거 좀 해서
Just as it's mentioned before that whatever activities you may engage in, worldly activities, are useless, meaningless, but they are kind of like, because they are source of suffering, the cause of suffering. So, thinking on those lines, now what should I do? So, Padre Rinpoche says in the verse number 22, fount of compassion, my root teacher, Lord Cheresik, you are my only protector. The 6-syllable mantra, essence of your speech, is the sublime Dharma. From now on, I have no hope but you. So, from here, the second section of speaking about the view, meditation, and conduct of the Mahayana, starting from like taking refuge, it begins from here. So, because whatever activities you do in samsara is a cause of suffering. So now, what should I do? So, who can actually protect us? What is my hope? To whom I can lay my hope on? So for this, Padre Rinpoche says that when you think of this delusive appearance of samsara, which is like a very scary wilderness, place of wilderness, like a forest, where one is actually kind of like tormented by the wild animals, you know, scary, frightful wild animals. The suffering that we experience in samsara, the three types of suffering, the suffering of suffering, suffering of change, and the pervasive suffering. So because of ignorance, we really do not know that we are kind of like tormented by the three suffering, and therefore we are kind of like enveloped by darkness of ignorance. Thinking on these lines, now what hope that we have is, Padre Rinpoche says that we have this protector, our only hope and guide is the great treasure of compassion, the great compassionate one, Avalokiteshvara, who is inseparable with one's own root teacher, whose kindness one can't actually repay. So here, like, one actually visualizes or thinks about Avalokiteshvara in appearance, but in essence being your own root teacher along with the lineage gurus. And then thinking that Avalokiteshvara is the only protector to whom one can actually rely upon, whom one can trust upon, whom one can have confidence on. And then his speech, the essence of speech, which is actually the Dharma teaching, and which is actually the supreme Dharani, the 6-syllable mantra. So my only hope is Avalokiteshvara as the Buddha, as your one's own teacher, and then my only hope is his teaching, the essence of his teaching, which is the 6-syllable mantra. So think that henceforth I only have you and your teaching as my protector. My only hope is you. My source of inspiration and determination is only you. So in that way, like, one actually kind of like thinks of Avalokiteshvara and his teaching 6-syllable mantra.
Matobi, she said, Tom said, Sendi, send the non shobi Tamabis, Sendi, Nedrajualas way. Mashi Pasonaton, the mother paid Masons. Trouble Londo Matombi, some say Tom said, Trouble on the Tamabis, Trono Londo, Trouble Noah Coron, Yonik Trot Chatomisona, that's what long that takes it. They might be too long since then. Zone Londo, Daji needs to too long Mazon is quite on the pay my parents, at that time my piece. That Penjig tapped the guards, paying everything. Mani Jurum John, Choga Churchillers, or cousin Danta, daily, you get to a man drove to the power is, to the Papa watch.
Why Avalokiteshvara and his teaching is my only source and hope is because, verse number 23, Whatever I know, I have left it as theory. It is no use to me now. Whatever I have done, I have spent on this life. It is no use to me now. Whatever I have thought was all just delusion. It is no use to me now. Now the time has come to do what is truly useful. Recite the 6-syllable mantra. Whatever I know, I know I have left it as theory. Now this is related to those who actually have studied a lot. The scriptural has done like years and years of scriptural study. Even though one has spent like many years in scriptural study and have a vast understanding of the teachings, if one does not mingle the teaching with one's mind, then it is just an understanding, mere understanding. At the moment of death, it won't really help oneself. So this is actually a great reminder for those who have studied a lot, spent years and years in study, like those who have studied in Shedra. And even those who know how to perform a ritual, pujas, they may be very well versed in performing ritual and pujas, but because one's mind has not been mingled with the Dharma, at the moment of death, this knowledge won't help one at all. So therefore, what is important is, despite all this knowledge, whether it be scriptural knowledge or the knowledge of ritual or pujas, if one has not given up the attachment to this life, whatever one does will be kind of like whatever activities one may do will be focused on this life, the prosperities of this life, and because of the attachment to this life, so therefore, like at the moment of death, and it won't happen. It won't help at all. Whatever delusion that one has not kind of like been able to transform or use it as the path. So whatever thought that arises kind of becomes a delusion. As a result of that, this actually this won't actually help me. This has not helped me in the past and won't help me in the future. Now, what will definitely help me right now is by reciting the 6-syllable mantra. So it is high time. The time has come. The right time has come. Right time has come to actually recite the 6-syllable mantra, the teaching of Avalokiteshvara, the essential teaching of Avalokiteshvara. So the time is up, and if you have any questions, please ask. If you don't have any questions, we will read a little bit further.
Kuzuzambola Rinpoche. I will have 3 questions that need your kind advice. The first question is, what is the difference between outer tantra and inner tantra? Then the second question is Mahamudra outer tantra or inner tantra? Then the third question is, can outer tantra achieve enlightenment in this lifetime or in one lifetime?
Chua thangbo de karsa di chigyu dang nangyu niki parala kebar karayores. Chua thangbo de dirisha chigyu dang nangyu kebar karayores. Ani chua niba de la tanda chagya chenpo mahamudra di ani chigyu re nangyu res. Di che. Ani chua sumba de la chigyu digi ani tse di la chigyu ki nyamlen cheba ina ani tse di la Chola Topguru, Sangyo Koma Topguru Base.
That Chiju Nojo Cheba Momojure. That Chiju Nojo Cheba Chiviche Dena, that Naju Nola. Pajawa Mother, you know, cover young. Oh, Mother, but the song I do is a shame, Jobia. Not Kanye Power, some towards Chison. Seton Ragwato, Godama, Maria Sonsa, she didn't know the Cheva Momojures, don't do us one. Tenekare, Mam, Tan Nonju, the control was then do sorry. They were me concerned, Omicron Yagu, Tenda. Dela Lama Kaji Shezola, Shadu Yemi said, Jajamo, Zowachimo saying, do it. That was Chiba Mepsha Kabju, Tenana, Zowachamola, sister the no the Swami, the song of the sending no them. Chachi Dela, the Mamura Jigunda. Tene Shiju Kane, Mrs. Jongato, Mrs. Dundon. La soirée m'a dit c'est le jealous sujo como toade pajin thomasum te za ta te nyos lo ma son ji te on son ji jo kale khore kare sana yon ron ke te chezo go san dam sanji den seme ke tengen jo gomsu There are Tomabon to one sumatani, Tomsi Song, Tomsi Manumatoni, Jonkono Cheta, Soma Gendo. There's only Chachi Chason Sonswaina, there Message now, Message Juru La Sobato, Message Dona Sobata, they Shajutu non Judas. Do you know they share Juno Yoderis?
The response to your first question, difference between outer tantra and inner tantra, there are actually many differences, and it might be very lengthy also, and we actually don't know how, on the one hand we don't have much time, but on the other hand, because it talks about outer and inner tantra, without receiving empowerment, going into the details of inner tantra, especially like in outer tantra, won't be beneficial because there may be many of you who have not received empowerment. So the first question, I will leave it at that. The second question is, Mahamudra belongs to the inner tantra, not the outer tantra, and Mahamudra actually is higher in terms of view than the Madhyamika view. The Madhyamika view, so Mahamudra is higher than the Madhyamika view. And then sometimes masters have spoken about the Mahamudra being equal to the Dzogchen view. However, if we go into detail within the Dzogchen view, Dzogchen view can be classified into 3 sections, that is mental class, Semde, space class, that is Longde, and Meragde, the pit instruction class. So the Mahamudra actually will fall into the first category, which is called the mental class of the Dzogchen, Dzogchen path. That is the second question. And the third question, by practicing the outer tantra, according to what the tantra has to say, especially the outer tantra, when you talk about outer tantra, you first receive the empowerment, then you actually also understand the meditation that is involved, the view, the meditation conduct that is involved, the meditation with signs, the meditation without signs, and then followed by that, one should also observe the commitments, the samayas perfectly. So whatever has been prescribed in the outer tantra teachings, if you follow them perfectly, without any fail, then it is said that one might achieve enlightenments, the enlightenment in 5 lifetimes, 7 lifetimes, or 16 lifetimes, and so forth. However, it is shown that by practicing outer tantra, one can't achieve enlightenment in 1 lifetime.
Sibi solen jovan jovara sho Jeke sondi jovai genda zoi tambi jodai mende shera jende nye zobai da Zembara sho Chode yawai seje koin sonyin zonlai je yerang Dagi de zoi ge zambai ke joy zamlai jeba Yevin Dembain Penjuruji, Gawa Simje Gunlango, Doge Sanyin Tojuruji, Gaza Tanjin Jidit, Tagin Yulai Menjuruji, Dimyen Donen Zonzon, Zerin Demin Yamdo Beren Zendres Sachoin Nenjuruji, Namshin Seben Yurmain Tain, Devain Jinduin Jinjuruji, Jene Bemo Kajin de Luden de Lai Sangesh Janjun Tovne Jizin Do Trubin Jovan Jem Barai Sho Ingang Doi Gebi Gewai Tam Jen Doi Tori Yunden Dunden Dom Barai Sho Yemai Da Doi Chedan Jen Gyuru Jin So Jin Rubi Ramai Ye Barai Sho Derya Lamai Dambai Nyeji Nyendain Senduin Jelain Jembraisho Jendoin Neni Nyingben Dendro Mden Zedi Zebin Yazoi Kawaraish Sembain Damben Jerain Denje Jen Shemben Jolain Yongai Membraisho Lajen Jenden Jorim Mebayi Tamjen Chamjen Sangen Toin Baraisho Gewai Gundo Yangdai Lamayet Jenge Balai Longje Jing Zadai Lamye Yunden Ramzone Dojen Changin Gobai Nyurun Toi Sho Nandai Rizoi Langai Jegengai Godai Yish Rambai Janlembe Zazai na jure chembe nyamle na yermen tugin til roje shoy on bandra zato sai maya manu bala yam bandra zato tenamba disra dirjumem sudo kayumem baba subo kayumem baba anorado mem baba sarva siddhim me prayatsa sarva karma sujam Chitam Shiriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Hum Bhagavan Sarvanta Tangadam Bajramamim Bajrim Bhava Mahasamaya Sandoy Aha
愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。